Long ago in ancient Persia, a boy named Aladin lived on the streets. His father, a tailor, had died years before, leaving Aladin and his mother in absolute poverty, with zero political or social leverage. This complete lack of standing made him an ideal target. A stranger soon approached the boy, claiming to be his long-lost uncle. It was a calculated disguise, worn by an African magician, who used the false familial bond to quickly win the trusting boy's confidence. The magician led Aladin far past the safety of the city gates. The street-level tale shifted into something much darker when they reached an isolated mountain. The magician threw a powder into a fire, chanted a spell, and the earth split open to reveal a flight of stairs plunging into darkness. The magician targeted Aladin specifically for his lack of connections. To a sorcerer, a fatherless boy with no social standing is a low-risk tool for a lethal mission. The rules of the cave were strict. Walk past the booby-trapped halls without touching a single coin, and retrieve a specific oil-filled lamp. Aladin obeyed, though on his way down, he stopped to pick up a seemingly ordinary ring from the dirt. When he returned to the surface, the magician demanded the lamp immediately. Sensing a trap, Aladin refused to hand it over until he was safely pulled out of the cave. The magician flew into a rage at the defiance. He cast a second spell and sealed the entrance with a massive stone, leaving the boy to die in the pitch black. Trapped for 2 days, Aladin eventually clasped his hands in a desperate prayer. That accidental friction rubbed the ring he had found, instantly summoning an enormous, terrifying genie who offered to obey his command. His survival in the cave relied on a fluke of luck, using a minor artifact he found in the dirt before he ever laid hands on the prize that would later define him. Aladin commanded the ring genie to deliver him from the cave, and the earth immediately opened to drop him safely back into his mother's home, where they had absolutely nothing to eat. Hoping to sell the old oil lamp for food money, his mother began rubbing away the dirt to make it shine. That simple friction summoned a second, far more hideous entity. This diagram compares their power. The ring holds localized magic, moving a single person. But the lamp's capability is exponentially greater. It bends the rules of reality, materializing an impossible feast on silver plates, generating raw wealth out of thin air. Accessing the lamp's genie provided the resources necessary for Aladin to move from the streets into the Sultan's inner circle. Aladin soon set his sights on the highest possible target, marrying the Sultan's daughter, a princess so guarded she only ever traveled in a veil. His primary obstacle was the Sultan's chief advisor, the Grand Vizier, who successfully delayed Aladin's proposal to secure the princess for his own arrogant son. Aladin responded with force. On the royal wedding night, he commanded the lamp genie to kidnap the bride and groom, repeatedly humiliating the vizier's son until the young man begged to cancel the marriage himself. With the rival removed, Aladin deployed immense financial pressure. When the Sultan demanded an impossible dowry to brush him off, Aladin produced 80 slaves carrying 40 golden basins, overflowing with magical jewels. To finalize his claim, he ordered the genie to construct a massive palace. It was rapidly assembled overnight, standing equal to the Sultan's own residence. Aladin used the lamp to secure immense wealth, and then used that leverage to dismantle the social barriers that kept him in the streets. But far away in Africa, the original magician used his own dark arts to learn that the boy had survived the cave. Enraged, he traveled back to Persia to reclaim his prize. He bypassed Aladin's defenses with a simple psychological trick. While Aladin was away hunting, the magician walked past the palace shouting, "New lamps for old." The princess, unaware of the artifact's true value, traded away the dirty copper lamp for a shiny new one. The mechanical transfer of ownership was immediate and devastating. At the magician's command, the genie uprooted the entire marble palace, with the princess inside, and instantly transported it to Africa. When the Sultan woke to an empty field, he demanded answers. He gave Aladin exactly 40 days to locate the missing princess, or face execution by beheading. The empire he built was entirely dependent on a piece of metal. The moment that borrowed power was stolen, his royal status evaporated, and he was reduced back to a powerless citizen waiting to die. Near the end of his time, a desperate Aladin remembered the ring still on his finger. He rubbed it, summoning the lesser genie to transport him directly to his wife's window in Africa. He immediately ordered the ring genie to bring the palace back to Persia, but he hit a hard limit in the magical system. The lesser entity confessed it lacked the authority to undo the work of the lamp genie. Unable to win through magical force, they had to rely on human deception. The princess invited the magician to dinner, feigning affection just long enough to slip a lethal powder into his cup of wine. With the original sorcerer dead, the lamp was recovered and the palace returned. But a final hidden threat arrived shortly after: the magician's younger, even more cunning brother, who disguised himself as a revered holy woman named Fatima. Infiltrating the palace, the brother planted an idea in the princess's mind. He convinced her the palace would only be perfect if it held a roc's egg, a request precisely designed to insult and enrage the lamp genie. When Aladin made the demand, the genie violently refused, revealing the disguise of the false holy woman. This time, Aladin didn't use a wish to solve the problem. Feigning a headache, he drew the brother close and executed him with his own dagger. He had used a magical shortcut to construct his glittering empire in an instant. But he could only secure it by stepping up, matching wits against his enemies, and holding